Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Beer Garden. Today is the Happy Valley finale of this season. Two more meetings to go in this Hong Kong racing term, but today along with Nathan and I, will be talking about our selections on tonight's night race card at Happy Valley. As usual, we are going to discuss the three legs of the triples and then followed by our best bet and value bet. Quite a good card tonight. There are so many good horses competing with each other. So quite tricky, I would say. So let's start with the first race that we are going to talk about will be race 7. It is a class 3 over 1800 meters. I think this is quite a tricky one. But Nathan, who do you pick in race 7?
It is a tricky one. When I did the preview earlier in the week, it's a galloper here that I was keen to be backing. I thought we'd get a better price than the favourite it's come up, and that's number 5 in the market, Hammer On. So it's actually come up at around
Yeah.
$3 the fave here, which I thought he might be in around the market. I thought we might get $4 or $5 though, but he has just been
Mm,
able to really put a nice group of runs together since arriving in Hong Kong. Formerly trained by Chris Waller here in Australia, ended up over in Hong Kong with I believe it's Francis Liu over there. And, he's running really, really well. He's fourth up into the preparation now, gets to the 1800 meters. He sort of went 1200, 14 at Sha Tin, came back to Happy Valley over the 1650,
mm,
and now up to the 1800. I think looks really ideal. You go to his best runs here in Australia. They've come over the staying trips at around the 1800 meters, 2000 meters with Chris Waller. So the fact that they're starting to get out and trip, I think this
yeah.
looks ideal for this very, very progressive type out of Night of Thunder. Finally gets to that trip I think he's been seeking. He's just been very unlucky from the gates. He sort of has been tending to get back
Mm,
into the run. He's never sat closer than midfield throughout in transit in any of his starts. And I think from barrier 1, he just gets the perfect run here. And I think that's why we're getting the price that we're getting. You got to take a shorter quote than probably what you'd expect with the SP profile. Started 30s, 20s, 8s, and now you got to take around 3-1. So he's probably on the shorter side considering where he's been at so far. But
mm.
I think this is his chance to peak before the end of the season. Luke Ferrara's taken the ride on every occasion so far, and I think he can make the fourth one a winning one. He looks primed and ready to win. So I'm happy to be with Hammer On. I think he's maybe slightly under the odds, but I'm happy to take the $3 and find out. I think he seems ready to win and
Mm,
can definitely do the job at Happy Valley tonight, early late on the card. There's a few others in this
yeah.
race, though, I don't think you can go amiss with. I think Sunny Star's a very intriguing runner here, heading back to Happy
Mm.
Valley after his run at Sha Tin. And then even Zone D if he drew a gate, and even Jumbo Fortune. So the race doesn't end outside the favourite, I feel. And as you said, Sharon, I think it is wide open. But I'm happy to be with Hammer On in
Yes.
this first race recovering. I think he's ready to win, ready to peak, and hopefully can kick off the treble in style.
Yeah, I think so. Number 5, Hamron, the current favorite. I think it is maybe because of the stable, because Francis Lui stable just had 4 winners last time at Sha Tin. So he's really in form, and the horse is now progressing well, getting a good draw, the most ideal one, gates number 1. And I believe that this distance will also be suitable for him. But for me, I will have a value bet here. That would be number 3, Sunny Star, that Nathan just mentioned. This horse, to be honest, I think he's no longer improving as a 6-year-old, but seems he is quite competitive in Class 3. This time he will be ridden by Vincent Ho and trying this course and distance for the first time in this season. But I still remember that last season when he ran in the same course and distance Group 3 January Club, he was second in that Group 3. But just because of that, his rating went up, so he needed some time to go down. So this time since last time he returned back to Class 3 again. Racing at Sha Tin was not his most favorable course, but this time coming back to the city circuit and also 1800 meters would also be quite suitable for him. And for the gates, gate number 6 seems quite ideal because he can get the rail easily. Tonight we are going to use the B course, so most of the horse need to get the rail before the turn. That would be quite a good position for him. So I will have him as my value bet because Vincent Ho also knows the horse quite well, and Vincent also need to work hard or to score as many winners as he can, so that he can break the 100-win breakthrough. So hopefully Sunny Star can also bring Vincent Ho another victory in the season. So to recap race 7, Nathan goes with number 5, Hamron, and I will go with number 3, Sunny Star as my value bet. So the next race we are going to talk about will be race 8. It is also a class 3 but a shorter distance over the 1,000 meters. Nathan, who do you pick in race 8?
Yeah, another race where I've ended up landing with the favourite, with a bit more confidence this time, though, I feel, and that's number 2 in your market, Seasons Wit. I think even money's fair enough for this guy. He's just starting to really put that picket fence together. He's been really consistent ever since he got to Hong Kong. He started at the 1,000 metres at Happy Valley and was a real eye catch. Everyone wanted to be with him that day. He firmed into about $4. Purton took the ride for Jamie Richards, and he ran really, really well into second. Went to Sha Tin, things didn't go to plan, and once he headed back to Happy Valley, he just really he's put the writing on the wall pretty significantly. This Sunny Capitalist, he ran second behind Harmony and Bless, and then subsequently beat him home twice. And the margins don't suggest that he's been doing it well, but he has been. He won by 0.1 of a length, and then he won last up by a length. So he's just gradually improved in his racing. He's got a terrific strike rate now, 10 starts for 3 wins and 6 minor placings. He just keeps going up in grade. And now, look, he does get £12 for that win. It's a significant weight, but he's still weighted well enough, I feel, to be winning here, despite the top weight he's got to carry. Because even with that, a few others do get some weight penalty as well. Even Harmony and Blessed goes up, I believe, £8 as well. So it's not all one-way traffic in terms of the weight scale. So I don't know if anything from that form line behind Seasons of Wit can turn the tables. So with that in mind, I've got him clear on top in that regard. And I just think he's still got some more rating points to go up from his from where he started this campaign. The only other horse that I want to be giving some kind of spec to would be actually down the bottom of the page, and that's number 11, Northern Beaches. I think this horse is ready to do something. I'm just confused about the setup. I think 1,200 metres is more than ideal, and he steps back to the 1,000 metres at Happy Valley. But ever since arriving in Hong Kong, I've kept my eye on this guy, and he's one that I'm definitely cautious of at a big enough price too, at around 12 to 1. So the market definitely sees him as a clear danger, considering he comes out of that flying ace form from Sha Tin. I'm just not sure about the setup for this guy, but definitely one to be looking for heading into next season. But look, I've got to stick with Seasons Wit. I've been with him a few times so far this preparation. He hasn't steered me wrong so far, and I've made him the best bet tonight purely on that factor that he's been very consistent, and the fact that he keeps putting it together, I think he can do it for one more. And then who knows how many winners this will be for Purton to bring up this season and continue on into Sunday and see how far he can stretch this record after breaking it on Sunday afternoon. So happy to do a Seasons Wit, made it my best bet.
Yeah, so there's an agreement between Nathan and I in race 8, because I also think that number 2, Seasons Wit, is quite hard to beat, I would say. He's now chasing for a hat trick. He looks really brilliant in the morning track work. The horse is looking really strong and fit at this moment. And also earlier in 30th of June, he trialed really well under Zach Purdon. And in that barrier trial, he won by 7 lengths. So I think the horse is now looking really strong, really fit, and really mature as a 3-year-old. The main concern this time may be the weight, because he needs to carry the top weight this time, 135 pounds. Maybe a bit a concern for him, but he is strong enough to overcome it, I believe, as long as he has a good draw, gate number 6, and then this time the rivals are really familiar. He was for him, like Harmony and Bless, also from a good draw, and maybe the other horse that can run close will be, apart from Northern Beaches, will maybe number 8, Party Warrior. But when he returned back to the 1,000 meters, he is not easy to win. He's battered over 1,200 meters. So maybe in this race, I will have number 2, Seasons Wit, as a win bet. And maybe for the Quinella, I will also include number 3, Harmony and Bless, also Party Warrior, number 8, and also Northern Beaches, number 11. But I will also be cheering for number 2, Seasons Wit, just like Nathan. So to recap race 8, both Nathan and I agree with number 2, Seasons Wit, and he is also Nathan's best bet for the day. And the last leg of the treble, race 9, it is a class 2 over 1,650 meters. Nathan, who do you fancy in the final race at Happy Valley for the season?
Yeah, we finish on an absolute ripper, don't we? This is a
Yeah.
very, very tricky race. I chopped and changed my pick here on multiple occasions. At the end, it just sort of came down to a price factor and what I was willing to take for one of these gallopers, and it ended up being number two, Savaquin. I think 10-1 is a very fair price for a horse that, he's probably found his mark, no doubt about that. Shereen mentioned before about some Sunny Star sort of finding his rating. I think Savaquin's in a very similar boat. We know what you're going to get from him. He's had 44 starts for 6 wins and 14 minors. But that's what I mean. He's found the placings in 20 of his 44 starts. He's consistent. The only times he doesn't really run a bold race is when he's either drawn awkwardly or the setup hasn't been ideal. You look last start. I mean, Encounter destroyed that field last time at Happy Valley, and Savaquin drew 12, got back to last. He came home really nicely and was a very probably a little bit under the radar that run. And I think that's another reason why Zach Purton elects to take the reins here. Just on that, Zach Purton, 6 starts on this guy for a win and 5 minor placings. So he's never missed the frame on Savaquin when he's jumped on board. And the fact that you're getting 10-1, I knew he made him my value play of the day. I just think he's a cracking each way bet in the last race. The fact that we get gate 2, Purton jumps back aboard this guy, and the map looks ideal for him. For the first time in a while, you'd have to go back to another run behind Encountered back on the, I believe it was the 12th of April, was probably the last time he got the best run possible at this course and distance. And the fact he gets that set up here on Wednesday night, I think is a really nice way to end the card. And as I said, now he's a 6-year-old gelding, and you know the consistent nature of him. You can back him with some confidence knowing that he's going to run well and run for John Sires as well. So very, very keen with Savaquin in the last race in terms of an each-way bet. The race does not stop there, though. Butterfield made my top pick at some stage there. Packing Award comes out of a nice race at Sha Tin. Nimble Nimbus comes into the race now and looks a very good chance as well. As with an intriguing runner, Sunpack Fu. Now, he gets to the 1650 for the first time this preparation, and, he's been a very consistent galloper over 1200, so I'm very interested to see how he runs. And then even Galaxy Witness was another one that popped into my numbers a few times. So I saw it in multiple different ways. At the end of the day, though, I just kept looking at the price of Savaquin, and I marked him a lot shorter than the 10-1 on offer, so he's the one that gets the on-top pick. So Savaquin hopefully ends the Happy Valley program, the Happy Valley finale in style for followers in that regard. So Savaquin for me.
Yes, quite a tricky one in the final race of the card. Number 2, Savaquin, is Nathan's pick from a good draw under Zach Purton. And I will keep my eyes on the other one with the same silk. That will be number 8, Galaxy Witness. Last season when he started his he is the type of rising star, but in this term when he turns 4-year-old, I was a bit disappointed for his performance, because after 12 runs, he did not have any victory so far in this season. But at least he ran 3rd in the Classic Cup, so I think it was not a really bad. Generally speaking, but maybe it is because of his riding tactic. He was always staying too back. There are some risk as a back marker, just like he did not have a clear one, or he needs to overcome the track bias. But on his recent last 2 starts, I think his early speed is better, because especially last time out when he removed the blinkers, he could stay in a better position, not really back in the field. So I think this time moving to Happy Valley for the first time should be favorable for him, because I respect the decision of Casper Fong, the trainers, is also having a really good performance at the Valley. So I checked his track work, just like last 1 year ago in May. He already had a barrier trial at Happy Valley, and the horse handled this course really well. So I believe his ability in the city circus, but he needs to overcome a wide draw gate number 10. But I believe Vincent Holt is able to do it, as he's having a really, really good season in Hong Kong this year. So to recap, race 9, Nathan goes with number 2, Savaquin, and I will go with number 8. Number 8, Galaxy Witness. But it is a really good card to watch. It is a really good race to end the Happy Valley program this season. Yeah, so after talking about the 3 legs of the travel, let's talk about our best bet for the day. Nathan, can you remind us who will be your best bet?
Yep, we head to the penultimate. Very, very keen. Season's Wit, number 2 in your market. Purton, Jamie Richards, A combination that I think we're going to get rather familiar with heading into next season as well. I think this season they've had quite a bit of success when they've combined. I think they will continue tonight. And then into next season as well, I think it's an affiliation that, we won't we'll see very similarly to the likes of Purton and Size as well. Just as Jamie Richards starts to build his stable and get those gallopers starting to come up into next year. So, no, very, very excited to see what they can continue to do. And Seasons Wit is another one of those gallopers. I think he's better than Class 3 Company. I think we've seen that his best is better than the Class 3 Company. He'll get his rating up, and by the start of next season, he'll definitely be running around in Class 2 races. Just whether or not he can start to build that profile and get away from Happy Valley and then maybe end up at Sha Tin and find some races there. But at the moment, they've found the sweet spot, and I'm happy to be backing him while he keeps going around in these kinds of races. So Seasons Wit for me in the second last is the best bet. And as I said, there's not too many races I'm comfortable with, but he's one that I'm definitely keen to be backing on this card. I think we can back him with confidence on consistency as well. So Seasons Wit, the best bet.
Yeah, that's an interesting runner. Seasons Wit number 2 in race 8. It is the first season for the trainer, Jamie Richards, training in Hong Kong, but he already scored 34 victories here so far, and quite a good start for him in Hong Kong. And Seasons Wit, he's a up-and-coming 3-year-old, I believe. He's able to overcome the top weight. And for me, my best bet goes to the opener. In race 1, it is a Class 5 over 1,200 meters. I have my best bet number 6, Jazz Steed. He's another combination of Vincent Holt and Casper Fong that I like. Jazz Steed as a 7-year-old, but still quite fit for racing. He's a 4-time winner in Hong Kong over both 1,000 meters or 1,200 meters at Happy Valley. He's a really good sprinter at the city circuit. And talking about his last victory was in November last year, and then he was up to Class 4, but he was, to be honest, he's not that competitive. He's in Class 4. So I just wait him to go down in Class 5, and he goes down here since April, but not that performance on his recent several starts. For example, last start when he was breaking from gate 9, he stayed wide without cover for the whole trip, but he still managed to run 4th behind Viva Alar, which is a non-runner in the field. So the rival is not really strong this time. And I think jumping from gate 4 this time, Jazz Steed is able to have a good position from the good draw. So Vincent Ho knows the horse well, and I believe he's able to win again as a 7-year-old because he's still fit, really strong horse. So I think good draw, good jockey, and a good trip for him this time is also having quite a good chance. So to recap our best bets tonight, Nathan will be in race 8, number 2, Seasons Wit, and my best bets in race 1, the opener, number 6, Jazz Steed. So talking about the value bets that we like, Nathan, who do you have as your value bet?
Yeah, when I think value, I think in terms of, again, a horse that's come up a price that I think personally over the odds. I marked him shorter than this. And a very similar profile that I mentioned, Sompak Fu in the last. Horse that's been running at 1,200 metres, finally makes his way to 1,650. We're going to head back to race number 5. That's a 1,650 at Class 4 level. And there's a horse here that's been very consistent this preparation that, as I said, it finally steps up in trip, and that's number 4, Snow A Lot. Now, you're getting around 8-1 on the Jockey Club. I could have marked him a lot shorter than that. I'd probably mark him around 5, somewhere around that number, maybe even 450. I just think by contributor, this guy's been ready to get over the 1,650 for some time now. There's particularly you go last start and the start prior behind One for All and also the runner. There were just races where there wasn't enough tempo for this guy to come into the race over 1,200 metres, and he'd fly home and he'd be the eye catcher, particularly on his rating, coming off a couple of really nice wins. I do feel bad for Lyle Hewitson, the fact that he's, been knocked off for Zach Purton here, but that's racing and that's the nature of it. And the fact that we get Zach Purton on for the first time in a long time here for the David Hayes Yard, I think this is a real setup race. Go have a look at that barrier trial as well. We haven't seen this guy step out since the 7th of June, so it's been a while. His jump out between runs was very, very good. And I just think he's ready to have another peak run here over the 1,650. I think that's why you're getting a particular price, because he's never made the trip. The fact that we're getting 8-1, we're getting an each way price for this guy, makes him very enticing to me in a race where There's some nice horses here, but not exactly. Outside of maybe even Turquoise Alpha, who's starting to put that picket fence together. There's a few horses here that don't love to win. Even you look at Concerto, he looks to me like a genuine Class 5 winner. He could jump up in grade and do it again, but it would definitely be a bit of a change of pace for a horse like that. But a few of these horses just haven't been able to put up that consistency like Snow a Lot has. And the fact that we're getting 8-1 for a horse that really the only query is the trip, I'm more than happy to be backing him in that regard. Look, he might be powering home again and maybe not be as effective over the 1650, but the fact that we get a more genuine tempo for this guy to sprint off, I think he's going to be very, very competitive. And at the price, I'm happy to be with him. Snow a Lot's my best value on an each-way basis in race number 5. I just think it's a really good bet considering the field. Even a horse like Gold Tact, who is yet to break his Hong Kong maiden, is come up your favourite. So I want to be taking on a horse like that who just seems to be allergic to hitting the winning post first. So I'm happy to be with Snow a Lot. Hopefully he can find, I believe it's his 3rd win of the season if he does win. So Snow a Lot for me, I think he's been very consistent and deserves to go out on a high.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I like him as well. Snow a Lot, number 4 in race 5, ridden by Zach Vernon from a good draw. But trying this distance for the first time, so having quite a good price, I think it is really good pick for a value bet. And I think he's really honest horse and really consistent over the whole season in Hong Kong. And also trial well recently. I think he's now still really fit. So at the end of the season, trying 1650 for the first time, I believe his pedigree supports him to do so. So I will also have a bet on him. But talking about my value bets tonight, I just mentioned it will be in race 7, number 3, Sunny Star. I quite like the combination of Vincent Ho and Casper Fons tonight. So hopefully we will see them to partner for several winners tonight. And yes, Sunny Star this time moving back to Happy Valley should be better for him. And also 1800 meters is quite a suitable distance for him because he ran 2nd in the Group 3 January Cup last season over the same course and distance. I believe he is quite competitive here. And also breaking from a good draw this time, gates number 6 would be quite ideal for him. The price now is 10-1. So I think he is quite a good pick for a value bet. So to recap, our value bet tonight. For Nathan, race 5, number 4, Snow a Lot. And for me, race 7, number 3, Sunny Star. So that's all for our review on the Happy Valley finale. Hopefully you enjoy our show, and I will be at Happy Valley tonight. So maybe see you in the beer garden. I will treat you some beer. So let's have some beer together at the beer garden. Hopefully you will enjoy this season and enjoy our show. So we'll see you next time for the Sha Tin review. See you next time. Goodbye.